A single Gerald R. Ford-class aircraft carrier demands $13.3 billion in procurement, consuming more capital than the total annual defense budgets of 95% of the world's nations. This initial price tag exceeds the entire annual gross domestic product of countries like the Bahamas, Montenegro, or Barbados, representing a massive concentration of national wealth in one single asset. Buying the carrier is only the entry fee. To survive in high-threat environments, the ship must travel within a strike group, adding billions more in secondary vessel costs. Each Arleigh Burke-class destroyer in the escort screen costs roughly $2 billion. A standard deployment requires at least 3, totaling $6 billion just for basic defense. A Virginia-class fast attack submarine typically shadows the group for anti-submarine protection, adding another $4.3 billion to the total group procurement bill. The carrier is useless without its air wing. Outfitting the deck with 44 F-35C Lightning II fighters costs approximately $5 billion in flyaway costs alone. Beyond fighters, the group requires E-2D Hawkeyes for early warning and grapplers for electronic warfare, adding another $2 billion to the aerial inventory. Filling the magazines with standard missiles, torpedoes, and precision-guided bombs adds a $500 million recurring expense every time the group prepares for a combat deployment. Modern carriers utilize 2 A-1B nuclear reactors. While they provide limitless range, the cost of handling nuclear-grade fuel and specialized shielding is triple that of conventional propulsion. 5,000 personnel live on board. Annual basic pay, housing allowances, and health care for this crew exceed $350 million per year, per ship. Feeding the crew requires 18,000 meals every 24 hours. This logistics chain costs $80,000 daily in raw ingredients and transport overhead. The Ford class generates 104 megawatts of electricity. This is enough to power a city of 60,000 people, used here for electromagnetic catapults and advanced sensors. The Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System cost $1 billion to develop. Integration failures during the first decade of service added hundreds of millions in unplanned repair costs. Integrating the dual-band radar system cost over $500 million. Complexity in software code led to years of delays, pushing the ship's delivery past its financial milestones. For every month at sea, a carrier requires weeks of pierside maintenance. The United States Navy currently faces a backlog that costs billions in lost operational availability. At the 25-year mark, nuclear carriers undergo refueling and complex overhaul. This single maintenance event takes 4 years and costs $4 billion per ship. Only one shipyard in the United States can build and refuel nuclear carriers. This lack of competition allows labor and material costs to rise without market pressure. Carriers use high-yield steel, capable of withstanding massive impacts. Since 2020, the price of these specialized alloys has increased 40%, inflating construction budgets mid-build. Building a carrier requires 50,000 highly skilled workers. Recruiting and training this workforce in a tight labor market has added billions to the overhead of the defense industrial base. Unlike fighter jets or tanks, supercarriers have zero export market. The host nation must bear 100% of the research and development costs without foreign sales to offset them. The $13 billion spent on one carrier could instead fund the construction of 1,300 elementary schools or 65 state-of-the-art regional hospitals. Financially, one carrier group equals the cost of 20 modern frigates. Choosing the carrier often leaves a navy with a massive center, but no peripheral presence to patrol sea lanes. Most nations finance these ships through sovereign debt. At 5% interest, the interest payments alone on a carrier's construction cost exceed $600 million annually. A carrier costs $13 billion, yet can be disabled by a swarm of drones costing less than $10 million. This investment asymmetry creates a massive financial risk for the operator. To defend against hypersonic missiles, a carrier must use interceptors costing $15 million per shot. Defending against a coordinated volley can consume $1 billion in minutes. Governments act as their own insurers. A single collision or fire can cause $2 billion in damage, instantly necessitating an emergency legislative appropriation to cover repairs. Supercarriers require 40 feet of draft. Expanding a single naval base to accommodate these ships requires dredging and pier reinforcement, costing upwards of $500 million.
Operating such a complex machine requires custom-built simulators for pilots and deck crews. These digital environments cost more than the fighter jets of previous generations. Protecting the carrier's networked systems from state-sponsored hacking requires a dedicated cybersecurity budget of $50 million per year for constant software hardening and monitoring. The F-35 aircraft on deck require climate-controlled hangars to maintain their radar-absorbent coatings. Salty sea air degrades these materials, necessitating constant, expensive reapplication. Naval vessels must comply with strict international laws regarding waste and acoustic pollution. Retrofitting older carriers with modern water treatment systems costs $80 million per hull.
Storing thousands of tons of explosives requires advanced fire suppression and blast hardening. These safety systems alone account for 8% of the ship's total structural cost. A carrier's value is measured in sorties per day. If a launch system fails, the $13 billion asset's return on investment drops to zero until repairs are completed. Every carrier contains a full hospital with intensive care units and operating rooms. Maintaining this medical capability requires millions in specialized equipment and high-salaried medical officers. If a carrier is grounded or damaged, the salvage operation is the most expensive in maritime history. Moving a 100,000-ton vessel requires specialized tugs and multi-billion-dollar insurance bonds. Retiring a nuclear carrier costs over $1.5 billion. The process of cutting out the reactor compartments and storing them for centuries is a massive unfunded liability. When a nation starts a carrier program, it commits to a 50-year financial cycle. This prevents future governments from pivoting defense spending to emerging technologies like autonomous swarms. Because construction takes over a decade, inflation in raw materials can add $2 billion to the final cost of a ship that was already over budget at inception. Nations often build carriers for diplomatic prestige. However, the economic strain often forces them to mothball the rest of their fleet, leading to a one-ship navy syndrome.
Hypersonic missiles traveling at Mach 5 make the carrier's defensive bubble porous. A single successful hit can neutralize a 50-year investment in less than 5 minutes. Governments justify costs by citing job creation. However, the high specialization means these funds do not circulate in the general economy as effectively as infrastructure or education spending. As of April 2026, the rising cost of parts and a shortage of nuclear technicians have pushed annual operating costs 10% above projected inflation rates. Once $5 billion is spent on a hull, canceling the project is politically impossible. Nations continue funding failing designs to avoid admitting a massive financial error.
Using a carrier for disaster relief or anti-piracy is inefficient. The hourly operating cost of $160,000 makes these missions a massive drain on resources. Some nations are pivoting to light carriers using vertical takeoff jets. These cost only 20% of a supercarrier, but offer 80% of the same diplomatic utility. As carrier costs rise, fewer ships are built. Fewer ships mean higher unit costs for parts, creating a spiral that eventually makes the entire platform unaffordable, even for superpowers. The phrase "too big to sink" refers to the economic catastrophe of losing a carrier. A single sinking represents a loss of 2% of a nation's total military assets.
Building aircraft carriers is the ultimate expression of industrial power. But for most nations, it is a direct path to fiscal insolvency and a weakened overall defense posture.